Hey, Train Guy here again, and in this video, what we're going to be doing is driving a train from London to Bristol. Temple Meads. We'll not be going all the way to Bristol, obviously. As far as Reading, this is a good little service. This is a good one because we're going to be following that train immediately above us on the table there. So there's going to be lots of signals. Um, we're going to have the train safety systems all turned on, and we'll be having to pay attention to all that. Just to make it interesting, it's raining as well, so visibility will be a bit pish. I will have the speed limit heads-up display switched on, but I won't be using the signal heads-up display. Okay, so there's the other train just leaving now. I'm just going to do a quick cab setup here. Headlights. Supply. Flick spots are a bit on this sometimes. So that's the train safety systems switched on. We can unlock the master key, open the reverser, cancel the AWS alert. So all that I need to do now is wiper, gauge dimmer, putting in. So signal at the end of the platform is at red. ERA set. Driver's reminder appliance. Fancy way of saying a red bulb, because that's all it is. When that's pressed, if I open the throttle, it won't get power. And it's just to remind you that the signal ahead is at red, but it's just gone yellow, so we'll pull out the platform. If it's a single yellow, it means that the next signal on this this bit is going to be red, so I have to be ready to stop, so it won't go very fast. The train has gone green straight away. The trains leaving the stations are typically being moved across all these lines, across the various points and what have you. So it can very quickly not be an immediate obstruction to me. It did also have a minute's head start as well. He will now be in the 40 mile an hour zone ahead of us. In fact, he might well have reached the 50 by now. So we'll just keep a wee eye on our speed, because we don't want to go over 40. All clear ahead so far, but the train ahead may well be on one of those other lines. We've not merged yet. So we've got a yellow ahead. I would be able to stop quite comfortably from 40 if I needed to, but it goes green. The train ahead had the head start on us, so it will be going a little bit faster. The gap will be gradually increasing, but we will probably be chasing yellow signals for a little while, so we won't get up to full speeds straight away. You can see it's a single yellow, I think, so I have to be prepared to stop. Sometimes I like that. Sometimes it's difficult to tell the way the water's running down the windscreen. It's sometimes difficult to tell if it's a single or a double. The water effects are they're actually quite good. The wiper on this thing is really slow though. So speed limit's 50 now, but I just went through a yellow, and I've got another single yellow ahead of me. yards further down, so we're going to take it right down to... Ah, there we go, we've gone green. That red's not for us. So the last signal was green as we passed it, so the worst the next one can be is a double yellow, so we can go fairly fast. I would take up to maybe about 60 or so on a double yellow. There's a double yellow. So that's just telling me that the next one's likely to be a single. It might change in the time it takes us to get there, in which case we can speed up a bit. But it could well be a single yellow, and I need to give myself plenty of time to stop the train if that's the case. There we go, it's gone green. So in the time it took us to get there, that signal went from single yellow to double yellow to green. So the train ahead of us is picking up speed. He must... he's into the 125, the 125 mile an hour zone. He's got to be a couple signals ahead of us now. So that gap's opened up. We'll speed up as well now. And then as we get a bit further along the line, what will happen is we should catch up a bit. I don't know whether they get the train in front gets some signals slowing it down or what have you. Get some traffic on the line. You sometimes have to. You've got trains moving from slow lines to fast lines, what have you. But we should catch up with that other service as we make our way along the line, and then we'll get some good examples of how the signalling works. If you're not entirely sure how the mainline signals work and how you should sort of drive around them, sort of thing. Quite often you only see them for signalling purposes. It's not every service that you see them being used for traffic management this way, sort of maintaining that gap between trains. This is one of the few services where you've got two trains leaving the same station at the same time that will be using the same lines. You get quite a few where they leave close to each other, but you'll get one going down the slow and one going down the fast lines, and they'll split up fairly quickly. So this is a nice service. It's something different, and it's not a very long one either. It should only take you about half an hour to do, maybe. See a green signal ahead, so we'll just continue accelerating. There's the driver safety device, because we haven't touched the controls for a while. Sometimes called the dead man switch. In fact, I think that's literally what the Dutch call it. The dead man's handle, I think they say it. I'm not sure what it actually is in Dutch. Still all clear, but that train that left at the same time as us is probably not very far in front, comparatively speaking. It'll be a couple of miles down the track, but in train terms that's almost nose to tail. Now I think I saw that signal ahead being yellow from the distance, so I'm going to expect to see a yellow away ahead of me somewhere. ESD again. Still green. We're moving it at a fair speed now. There's that yellow in the distance again. It goes green as I approach. So what that means is that the train ahead of us is doing it has slowed down a bit for us to have caught him, and we will probably get slightly closer to the yellow each time before it changes, and then at some point I will have to slow down. Now at these sort of speeds, this is going to be a good example of why that second set of yellow lights exists, the double yellow advanced warning. So we're travelling at 115 miles an hour. Just now we can go a little bit faster. Still seeing yellows in the distance turn into greens as we approach. I do expect to close that up a little. Let on the horn as we approach a station that we won't be stopping at. We'll be going through at full power, because why not? Is that green just in time? Did this earlier in the dry and I caught the train in front a little quicker than this, which makes me think that traction is affected by the rain. It already was, it feels like it is anyway, but it's more just sort of confirming it is. So there's a double yellow. So imagine that was that's right, it's just gone green for me, so forget that. I'll pick that up again the next signal we go through. The reason we have the double yellow is because if you went straight from a green to a single telling you the next one's red, so here's the signal here, still yellow as I go through. I apply full service braking now. So if that was a single yellow and the next signal was red and I wait till then to brake, there is no way that the train is going to be stopped in time. I'm going to go blasting through there, still doing a good probably 50 or 60 miles an hour with the brakes fully applied. The only braking setting left is emergency, and that's not what you want to be hitting. So that's gone green. I can just release the brakes and get going again. That's why you want to chop your speed when you see those signals though. And I think we'll run into more of that as we approach Reading. What should theoretically happen is, because I scrubbed off a bunch of speed there as well and dropped down to a lower speed, and we now have to gain all that back, because that should let the gap open up again. So all things being equal, I think we'll see mostly greens until we start approaching Reading, which is where we're stopping. No extra stops on this service. Some of the class 43 services you do get to make an extra stop somewhere just to mix it up a little bit, but I've not figured out all. I've not driven all the services yet, so what I intend to do after this video is I am going to just play some of the services I haven't played and see what I can find in the way of, you know, a bit of variety, interesting things to look at, different bits of different challenges you're likely to encounter. So I can see there's a yellow again in the distance. It's not for us though, that's for the slow line. We've got an advanced signal we've just passed there. Because we couldn't see the main signal, you get an advanced one and it just tells you the next one's alright. You find them quite a lot on curves or near bridges and things like that. Station entrances. It's a turbo line. We're on the fast line. That'll be one of the services that only stops at like Maidenhead and Slough before going on to London. They're quite good ones to drive as well. They don't take as long as the all-stopping services. If you are playing the game and you do fancy doing one of the services that stops a bit less often, get a bit more high-speed running, if you look at the head codes on the schedule, on the timetable, that's the 4-digit sort of number code thing in the service name. If that starts with a number 1, it's an express service, so you may just do a straight run all the way through to the other end. You might stop once, at most twice. If the head code starts with a 2, it's a normal passenger service, and you'll stop more often. And all the class 43 ones start with a 1. The ones that don't start with a 1, I think it's 3 and 5 or something they start with. Those are used when it's just an empty stock movement, usually just taking it to the depot. So AWS warning is for... It's not for a speed limit, and it wasn't for that signal. I don't honestly always remember what that one's for. I think there's a track switch ahead. Ah, yeah, there's a track switch up ahead here. You sometimes get one for those. I think. So we're trundling along nicely. Good bit of high speed running, which is always fun. Not done very much of it in the last couple of days. Squeeze another quick one in tonight. So the train that we were following is the gaps obviously stabilised a bit. So we're getting greens all the way. That's exactly what I wanted to. Or that's exactly the purpose of the double yellow system. It made us slow right down for a bit. Yellow signal coming up. Let's just turn it green again. Visibility is it's a bit hazy. It's a cloudy, rainy day. But these signals are pretty bright. You can see them from a fair distance. And the weather effects. If you're playing scheduled services, you can choose what season, what time of year it is, what weather you're playing in. So it just flashed green. Although I did get the AWS alert, the signal did go green before I passed through it. So I'm not gonna slow down this time. You can start braking basically as you get to the signal. Because as you see, they can go green at any time, and if it goes green, there's no point in me braking just yet. Can be tempted to start braking long before the signal. It's not usually required. Right, that one was actually, I don't think about it was still double yellow when we went through, so we better just, there we go. In fact, we better just stick that right on because that's the slow line signal. So yeah, double yellow, so I'm just going to keep the brakes on. Until I know what the next one is. Green. Again, as you get close to Reading, I mean that's a fairly busy station, so there'll be trains crossing from the slow to the fast lines and vice versa. You do sometimes see trains sitting at red signals waiting to get in or out of the station at various times of the day, so you do have to kind of be on your guard as you're approaching. We're into the last 10 miles. It's we'll be up to speed again fairly quickly. Signals permit, of course. Just a little reminder from the DSD there, because we hadn't touched the controls for a short while there. The signal ahead has gone green, but I can actually see a yellow in the distance again, so let's just back off the throttle just now, because that's quite close together. Shed a bit of that speed. Still can't see the next signal. Expect to see it by now. Yeah, it's a yellow. You can see it. I think it's just gone green. Yep. Or rather, the droplet of water sitting over it went green. I don't know how. Because I'm streaming straight from the console. By the way, folks, the stream quality is limited to 720p. That's the console, not me. No point in me sitting talking about really fine detail if you can't actually see it. It's a bit like that snooker commentator from years and years and years ago my dad told me about. Once famously said something along the lines of, for those watching in black and white, and blue is the one behind the brown, or something equally ridiculous. Signals are all still green, but we're getting to within 5 miles of Reading, and there are speed limits around the station, so this is why I don't do a lot of running with the external cameras sometimes. just realised I've not really actually done any on this trip. I do try and always do a little bit, I'm sorry. This one up. Kind of needed to be watching the track ahead of me. So we should arrive with plenty of time to spare, I would think. Miles to do in 5 minutes, and we're tanking along. There we go, yellow's in the distance. Double yellow for us, but yeah, fine. Turned green at the last moment, but fully expect the next one to still be on yellow. Speed reduction coming up ahead as well, so if we're going faster than the train ahead, we'll catch up fairly quickly. There's a double yellow again, and it's not changed, so full service braking, that's the maximum braking you can do with the brake handle there. The emergency is on a different control altogether, and you're allowed to go to full service braking, I believe. So that was a single yellow, so we're just going to keep braking a little bit until I can see what the next one is. I don't want to leave myself. You saw back on the double yellow when I hit the brakes at high speed how long it took. So it's still just a yellow up ahead, it's not a red. We'll be okay. Just trundle along at this speed. Plenty of time in hand as well. You usually get a few minutes extra time on a high-speed train service. That's gone to double yellow, so the line immediately ahead's clear. I don't think we should see a red before we reach the station now, just with the distance signals are spaced out. No point picking it up too much because we're about to head into the speed limit reduction zone. I think we go fairly sharply from a 60 into a 30, so I'm just going to start gradually braking now. Still got a minute and a half in hand. And yeah, we're being sent down a set of points, so there'll be a speed limit on those. 25 or 30, I would think. Oh, 50. Okay. Faster than it's quick for station points. It's slow for the other ones. Just gently brake as we come in. Set back to initial braking. Can take longer than you think for it to stop that last couple of miles an hour, but you want to make sure that you're all the way in so that the back of the train's not hanging off the platform. In fact, you want to pull up next to the little sign there that says HST stop line. That's where the front of the train should basically be without going past the signal. Nice. And over there, that's the train that left Paddington just a minute before us that we've been following up all the way. Might have a go at that one actually, just to see what makes it have to slow down on its way up the line. Close the door. Just get ready to complete the service. One. And that's that. So that was a run along the full length of the line with quite a lot of signals and stuff going on there, but hopefully that was it was a good demonstration of how to drive to the signals for certainly for amateurs anyway. Managed to get there on time, had to use all the safety systems, that kind of thing. Probably not going to do another one of these videos for a little while. I'm going to go away and play some more of the schedules and stuff, and try and find stuff that's maybe a bit more varied than just going up and down the line with not much to see or what have you. Let's see, this train should drive away now. I did exit the vehicle. What did it mean for me to get on this side? Oh, who cares? Turned off the objective markers, can't see where I'm supposed to be. Okay, we've alighted here. Oh, well, fair enough. Yeah, so I'm going to go and play some of the schedules and stuff and just see what I can find to maybe do some more videos on. So, thanks very much, and see you next time.